I am Y2J and welcome to another edition of Travel China Guide. In this video I'm going to be showing you currency, the money, and we're going to talk a little bit about prices and bargaining. Alright, let's do the currency first, and we'll start at the top and we'll go to the bottom, because I have right here in front of me Chinese money. And we'll talk a little bit about the exchange rates. Now the exchange rate is going to be very kind of vague, because first of all exchange rates change over time, and secondly YouTube is a platform where you've got a whole bunch of people in North America and Canada. They have different currencies. And then Australia and New Zealand, they have different currencies. South Africa, they have different currencies. Plus England, they have a different currency. This is a 100 RMB note. Actually, I think there's two versions of this. They all have Mao on them, by the way. Mao is pretty damn special. The kids in China, they were talking about how damn cool Mao is. So that's Mao. That's 100. That's the biggest one you get. 100 yen is about $20 New Zealand. $20 New Zealand is about $13 American. So yeah, that's about $13 American, I think. Quite often when you present one of these to somebody for a purchase, when you buy something, they will do this. And they'll hold it up to the light, because they're checking for authenticity. Because counterfeiting does exist in China, unfortunately. Right, now, I think that there is a 50, but I don't have a 50 here. And there's a 20, but I don't have a 20 here. But I do have a 10. There's the 10. There's Mao. It says here, Zhongguo, Renmin Yihang. Zhongguo is China, and Renmin is renminbi, because Chinese currency is known as renminbi. Or RMB, renminbi. There's the 5. You noticed? It's still got Mao on it. They've all got Mao on them, because Mao is that damn cool. Even the $1 note has got Mao on it, because everybody loves Mao. Mao is cool. Mao is cool, man. Now, the $1 note. So, these are pretty handy if you get onto a bus. And if you don't have like a Metro card, the buses will usually have a fixed, price. They'll have like a box there, and you got to put like 2 yen in there. So having 2 yen is quite handy for taking a bus and you don't have a Metro card. So if you're in China, hang on to your little small money, because it will come in handy. Coins. This is the same as this. This is a $1 coin. This is a $1 note. They are the same thing. The difference is the coins are more useful for subways. When you go into the subways, they have ticket machines there that will sometimes only accept the coins. So buying the subway ticket, see the subway video for information about riding the subway, because you kind of need to know about that too. So that's the $1 note and the $1 coin. Here is Wu Jiao. Wu Jiao is 50 cents. Here is Yi Jiao. Yi Jiao is 10 cents. And you guessed it, Wu Jiao and Yi Jiao come in notes. And you don't see these very often, because they're worth almost nothing. And they just, you just touch them and they come to pieces. They're just tiny little bits of rubbish. You'll actually pick these up. You'll pick these up off of the street. People just don't want them that much. You'll pick them up off of the street. So there's a 50-cent note, Wu Jiao. These are actually pretty rare. That's a 10-cent note. Okay, to give you an idea about what this little piece of shit is worth. That's a Yi Jiao note. That's 10 cents Chinese. That's 2 cents New Zealand. That's approximately 1.3 cents American. Yeah, that's want to hang on to that one. So that's the money. And let's talk a little bit about prices and bargaining. Prices in China are actually not that cheap. See, this thing called globalization has happened. Probably going back to, say, the 1980s or the 1970s, there was this idea that Chinese goods were cheap. And they were. Because our locally made things in our Western countries that are made by people who actually earn a reasonable wage, these goods had to be sold for a certain amount of money because they had a certain quality attached to them. They had a certain amount of labor that went into them. So if you went and bought a good quality sweatshirt manufactured, made in New Zealand, made in America, that thing would cost you $40, $50, $60. But then you went and bought at your Walmart, your big box mart, you went and bought your Chinese made piece of shit, and it would cost you $10. But there was always a catch with that, wasn't it? The quality was bad. And because the quality was bad, you didn't really want it. And if you did buy it, you knew that you were going to have to replace the damn thing because the thing would just break. The same dynamic exists in China and really the whole world in 2016. Goods aren't really cheaper in China. Not really. Consumer goods, that is. Like if you're going to try and buy electronics like an iPhone or a tablet or a computer or a cell phone, something like that, the price you pay in China is pretty much the price you pay at home. In 2012, I bought this video camera, which is currently connected to the suction cup mount here. Just ignore that mount. This is a TCL camera. That's a local brand in China. I've never seen TCL anywhere else. It says HD and all that, and it's supposed to be a bloody flash camera. Honestly, it's no bloody better than pretty much any other camera. In fact, the cell phone that I'm videoing this video with is better quality than this. And, I mean, this is nothing special about that. I hardly use that for anything. And what did I pay for that? I paid about 1,600 RMB for that. That's about $400 New Zealand. That's, I don't know, $250, $300 American. Things aren't really cheaper in China, with a couple of exceptions. Taxis are cheaper. Taxis in New Zealand are bloody expensive. If you were going to, say, take a 20-minute journey in a taxi in New Zealand, you'd pay $50. A 20-minute journey in a taxi in China, you'd probably pay 50 yen. But guess what? 50 yen is worth $10 New Zealand. Taxis are cheaper in China. Food is also cheaper in China. I'm not going to talk too much about the food because China has such an incredibly large array of food. You just couldn't cover everything. But food is cheaper in China. And lastly, accommodation is cheaper in China. If you stay at a hotel here, it costs megabucks. You stay in a hotel there, whew, it's cheaper. It might be 1/4 of what you'd pay in New Zealand. Lastly, to wrap up this video, we'll talk about bargaining. Bargaining. You don't actually get to bargain in China all that often. Really, the only places you can bargain on price is at a marketplace. If you go into a restaurant, the prices are fixed. If you buy a ticket at an attraction, the price is fixed. You get on a subway, a bus, a train, a plane, the price is fixed. You buy electronics or consumer goods in a department store, the price is fixed. The only place you can bargain on price is basically at a market. A small shop or like a stall. They'll have these little small shops quite often set up close to tourist attractions, or sometimes inside a shopping mall they'll have like a little market section. You'll find markets just around the place in random places. Sometimes they'll literally be set up on the streets. Markets are the only place you can bargain on price. Rather than try to give you a lot of elaborate advice, all I will say is this. Ask yourself, when you're looking to buy an item in a Chinese market, and you're looking at it and you're wondering, oh, what's it really worth? See what they're asking for it. Convert that dollar amount into your own currency. And then ask yourself, would I pay that dollar amount in my own country? Like, let's say they're trying to sell you a back scratcher for 100 yen. 100 yen in New Zealand dollars, that's $20. Would I buy a back scratcher for $20? No, I'd buy a back scratcher for $5.